What's up? Excuse me. We back. I'm ready. Raring to go. After what could be considered a very interesting first game today. And yeah, I'm doing another. Might as well get it out the way. Saves me having to do more work on the weekend when I would much rather relax. But yeah, we're doing Gam and Loud second series today. I'm not gonna lie to you, really looking forward to this one. I know what happens. It's a massive outplay from some player. But also, I like how literally yesterday they had the LCK chairs in the studio. Today they've got the world ones. Like, what difference does it make for a team sitting on the grind glory chairs? It's so dumb. Anyway, we're heading into draft. Brazil, the big loud squad, here to do some work against the Gigabyte Marines, who I touted as a very strong team. I thought that they were going to absolutely decimate Loud. If you've heard my predictions, you know that I'm a big fan of Gam. Anyway, ban phase numero uno for the two teams. Rel Poppy removed by Gam. Maokai, Tristan, Jarvan Jax removed by Loud. And you know what could be removed here? I mean, do you remove the Orianna? Talia? Olaf. Not gonna allow Robo his Olaf. That does mean that Renekton's up and available. You've got, again, the Orianna as a first pick option. Talia once again. Renekton is very, very prevalent and something that Robo has made his name on over the years. As for the Gam response, you've got Zyra Khan, you've got Kaiser. I mean, there's a lot of different things. Current meta isn't that defined, to be honest, comparative to what we've seen before. But one thing's sure, Orianna is considered quite strong, and Gam are going to secure that for themselves. Kati going to have some fun on that pick. Control Mage, will it be paired with some good ball carrying or ball fumbling champions if we want to go down that route? Xayah is a good option. I don't so with how it's done, again, Loud can quite easily go Rakan here. Get themselves a denial of a very strong champion and combination from the Gigabyte Marines. It makes the most sense to go for it here. And what do you know? Out it comes. Syndra is up and available right now. You've got Azir. You've got Nico, another pick that we've kind of seen quite a bit in the mid lane. I think that there's a good set of options here for Tinoans, but they're probably going to drop it through to the second phase. Obviously, ADC, more prevalent, more powerful in the current meta, comparative to mid laners. And plus, with the fact that there is quite a few other options there for the Loud mid laner, he is going to give that one up. Now, Gam here have the option to lock in Talia for Levi, or Levi, whatever you want to call him. But they're going to look in Nautilus, so it's kind of a matching of the combination that Loud have got. The big difference, though, is the top laners and the mid laners from either side have allowed their picks to go into the second phase. So, Bam's here, up and available. Loud, probably going to look at the Kennen, maybe. Big Ban denies some sort of aggressive pick into the Renekton. You can also deny junglers if you want to. I mean, that pool is still very, very large. And the fact is, I think that it probably doesn't need to be chopped down anymore. Loud. Gonna remove the Cassante. Blind pick tops. That's the staple top laner that basically has the ability to get into the backline quite easily with the amount of dashes he has. So that is a good ball carrying champion removed by Loud. Second ban's Nocturne. I mean, don't think that's good in this situation, all things considered. But yeah, it's removed from Loud's field of play. But looking at the amount of jungle bans that have come through in this game, Loud adding onto it with the last ban as well, this pool of champions quite limited, quite shallow. I mean, what is that as Viego that's a good option? I'd personally, if you're going to lock in a pick here, I'd go for your preferential jungle. But I guess they're saving counter pick jungle. Levi, probably the most known name on this Gam squad. And the fact is, he's getting counter pick for himself. I dare say, the big issue is, what is a good option here? Jarvan is a good pick. I like that. I think, no, it's Nico. But PSG, Loud still have the option to go Jarvan here in their second pick. Only time will tell for what they go for. And it is gonna be the Viego. Now, Gam, as much as that hover from Loud was bait, will they go for that Jarvan? I think with the Rumble, you kind of have to. You've got some good combinations here for Ori to deliver the ball in. I like this Gam squad. The draft is very one-dimensional, don't get me wrong. It's we're going to get this ball into your backline and delete you with the damage it does sort of comp. But Loud's comp, it's a weird one. It's a lot of different moving pieces. Personally, I'd prefer the Jarvan on the Loud side compared to the Viego. I think if Croc went Jarvan here, we probably would not have seen Levy pick Viego. And just to make sure I understand the Levy mindset, didn't want to go back that far. I also can't go forward, which is a yikes. But just to showcase my thoughts on Levy as a jungler, we'll look at his pool for this year. Why not? Viego is played 5 times. One of his lowest win rates for a pick that's had multiple plays. In fact, it is his lowest win rate champion with multiple plays. So, personally, I would have thought you'd allow that through. The other thing is, you didn't expect a Jarvan for him because he hasn't got it on his pool. Considering that is literally the world's game. But yeah, that set of champions does really suck. I mean, Wukong, honestly, as much as it isn't in meta, let me just have a look. When was the last Wukong game? Then, in playoffs, in the second to last match, Honestly, would have preferred him playing that here. As much as it's not a good pick right now. Would have been nice. But yeah. Traded jerseys between two teams. Nice way to start a world championship for them. Hopefully, I do mean hopefully this draft goes, well, this game goes well for either team as I am just watching the high fives happen as we go into game number 1 of this series. A lot to think about here. It's gonna be a tale of the objectives once again. You have to think about it that way. But Loud, very, very heavy fan base. I haven't got the sound in my ears right now to know how loud it is in Lowell Park, but apparently it's very, very loud for Loud. Looking at this start, early level 1 play, forcing the Rumble to take a lot of chunk damage, almost below half HP. And Kiaya forced it back early. Not going to affect his laning phase. But with how Loud have pathed, their wards have been spotted, but they're guaranteed to know the start of or when Levi hits his raptors. As Nico doing Nico things. Spotted out. Immediately going aggressive. And what do you know? Junglers starting opposite sides of the rift. Both on blue. Both have their red buff warded. Who's going to be the one to go aggressive first? As bot lane going to throw down their own aggression onto one another. Early trades, level 1 trades, a bit surprising. You usually wait for level 2. As a flash forward comes out from Nautilus, hits level 2 early, Ignite put down. Ticking health bar of Route gets rooted. The Blade Caller not going to secure the kill, and instead the Rakan gets first blood for Loud. It's time to get rowdy as Seos steps onto the rift and does work. Oh god, we just had CEO and now we've got Seos. I got their names mixed up in the last game, didn't I? I knew that there was a Seos. But this Rakan, he's a bully right now. Such a big threat. We're probably going to get a replay of the first blood. Because I wasn't focused in on the Nautilus or the Rakan. I was focused in on the 2 ADCs. But here we go. It's essentially over-aggression from Pallet. Just steps head first. He uses all his abilities. Then Rakan gets his W up and available. Just bursts him out with the combo. Then ADC's just a trading. Not enough damage there for Slater to get a kill. And Gam kind of put themselves on the back foot this early. Now, they are going to continue to control the brushes so that Seos can't go for these sort of crazy advancements. But it does mean that Slater is in a bad place because he's forced to play so far off the wave. Because, wow, good play out from the top jungle for Gam. Kind of evening out a bit of a map state for Gam. And this is a different sort of story to what we saw in the previous series. A lot of early plays coming out from these two teams. They're wanting to get aggressive, and more specifically Gam, trying to make this more of a carnage and chaotic sort of clown fiesta. As topside, Levy does good here. He isn't the one to tank turret, but he doesn't need to. He's just there to kind of lock up the target. His bot lane, Cleanse is burnt out from Slater, which is huge. Not gonna have that summon a spell ready and available. Also, it's Gurst. I turned into a Yorkshire person there. It's also Ghost on the Kaiser. As flash forward, coming out from the Rumble, is going to get to solo Bolo. As Kiaya gets himself another kill. But the issue is, Viego has roamed up and Croc secures for himself a trade. That's a good positioning out from the Viego to get something back on that top side and kind of reroute the ship. I didn't mean for the pun there. As we look at the featured matchup, that's kind of a weird one. I presume it's the bot lane. With, obviously, a rookie ADC on this stage. Route has been a surprise factor to many, I think, with how loud GA has been. Obviously, disappointing MSI. Winning both their splits, I guess, in the CBLOL isn't a terrible thing. But, like, MSI, you're kind of wanting to make it out of play-ins. They weren't able to. And instead, the CBLOL forced to get sent home early. And now, coming into this tournament, a lot of familiar names on this Loud lineup from last time they were at this tournament. And you have to think they want to step up here and make it into the group stage. Brazil, a vocal region on the, obviously, vocally very loud. Not skillfully very loud, it's harsh to say. But they want to make it to the main stage. They want to be huge things for their region. And probably one of the biggest fan bases in esports right now is this loud. And that is arguably one of the greatest things, is having your biggest org at the biggest tournament in the world. And they just want to make him proud. As bot lane, Nautilus is not going to land a Q onto a human, and because of that, he gets chunked out below half of his below half of his HP. Aggression coming out from Loud though in the spot lane, as Seos goes a bit aggressive, continuing to chunk out the Nautilus, trying to force him back to base, and they are going to succeed in doing so. I hate the word succeed, because it's very hard to say. As bot lane, that's a lot of trading. Route getting aggressive in his own right onto Slater. Two rookie ADCs on the world stage, definitely not familiar. As what a solo kill for the Kaiser. Just deletes the health bar with the flash play, as topside Robo has his ship rebuilt. Pop Blossom going to be flashed out from by Kati as the re-engage onto the Jarvan comes through, and he's forced to burn his flash as well. Loud deny the Herald from going over to Gam, even if they are the ones to kill it. And this is starting to get out of hand. Loud already sitting at a 1k gold lead, and that's considering the fact that topside 2 kills went over to this Rumble early, and they're able to rewrite the ship. That's the word I wanted to use. But this is just Kaisery into Voidseeker getting a lot of damage down, and Route's in the mid lane now getting a kill onto Kati. I'm going to be honest, last time we saw Caddy at an international stage, he didn't look that impressive. I'm going to have to say it. I'm going to be brutally honest. He wasn't the best performer, and he kind of gave over these sorts of kills with him getting caught out every time. And this is just over-aggression. staying way too long, trying to deny backs, and you're just not respecting the fact that Route could be there. You're not respecting the fact that he's not on the map showing, and you get punished because of it. Just simple things to not get baited into, and Loud are punishing. They're showcasing a lot of strength here. Now, don't get me wrong, we're literally only 10 minutes into the game. Kiahin's got the most damage. Not really that big of a stat. In fact, it's not the most impressive, and that's an interesting Kaiser build. Umbral Glaive start. Very surprising, to say the least. Not something we traditionally see. And personally, it's usually, if you go in an AD build, you see Kraken Slayer into Rageblade, I believe it is. Nash's Tooth to get a bit of AP and attack speed as well. If you want to go a bit more hybrid, that is. But this is a weird build, to say the least. In fact, it's looking like he's just going to go full lethality, because that's another serrated Dirk in his inventory. I'm thinking Duskblade or Eclipse. Duskblade's a good item, and with the fact he wants to be diving in, getting a kill and going invulnerable and untargetable, kind of a good idea. I think if he does go Duskblade, that is a good pickup, and it's one of the more interesting Kaiser builds, to say the least. But hey, what I presume his trinket is just normal ward. And not sweeper. Okay. Also, the Rakan's the one with the zombie wards, so surely you'd be letting him kill the wards and not Umbral Glavin? Unless he's got it with the Hail of Blades. It's a weird one, to be honest. I'm trying to understand it more than anything. Like, don't get me wrong. Senna, known ADC, currently strong in the meta, is an Umbral Glaive user, and you go Eclipse, Rapid Fire Cannon, Manamune as well, in there for an early item pickup. But we're just going to have to let this build play out, I think, is the real answer that people should want to hear. As bot side, Croc has the possibility to go for a tower dive here. Stealing away the blue buff is going to be spotted out, but he may not even be needed for the dive, as a Featherstorm popped early and the TP burnt. A lot invested there by Gem to not allow their bot laner to die. In fact, kind of seems like an overinvestment more than anything. The TP wasn't needed. And now that he's not there anymore, it may as well be needed. It may have been needed then. But depth charge used in return the response of the Heartbreaker just to deny knockup there by Croc. So that's a Voice Seeker landing, Killer Instinct used, Nautilus stepping forward but is not able to block. That Kaiser is a monster, etting herself onto that killing spree. You're underestimating the damage. I'm certainly underestimating the damage she can do. That's a solo bolo from pretty much full health. And she is just insane. Gonna back now. I'm just waiting for that second item and 2k gold lead. Oh, well, you know where the gold is for this game. And Route is the one that has it. Is he on the right path here to success? And it's looking like it displayed. Oh, goodness me. This is going to be one deadly Kaiser. And Gam probably won't be able to deal with it. Not even one completed item on Slater. That's how far back he is. Going for that Kraken Slayer. Finally gets it for himself. Now, hey. There's a nice cleanup on a ward. Mid lane now sits where the Kaiser is. Obviously, Herald is in the back pocket of Croc. Void Seeker lands onto the Nautilus, so not the most ideal target. And it's just going to be backing up here from Gam. Allow Loud into the river. It's just one Void Seeker. The feathers don't do anything. The Q, the Acathian rain, just deletes a lot of health bar. And the auto secures a kill. Easy peasy for route. 3-0-1 right now. Sitting at a 50 CS lead. This game seems done. Oh god. We haven't really talked about the top side since it's basically evened out more than anything. Like, sure, there's an extra kill on Kian, but he hasn't really been needed. He hasn't had to do anything. Similar story for Robo. He's just there. Top laners are just there. Now, looking in the pool of items, Leandri's picked up for the Orianna. Kind of surprised to me. I'd be thinking you'd need the burst more than anything with like a Ludens. But the extra tick damage there from Leandri's is okay. I guess it's good at tracking the Viego in his mist. But that's just my thoughts. Dustblade is the item he's gone for here. And it is chunking decently the health bar of Slater. Force to pop a potion already from his refillables. In fact, I think he's burnt both of them off of this Kaiser just doing damage. This is what happens when a Static Shiv gets nerfed to smithereens. We see these crazy builds. As Croc stepping forward, the engage comes through, forcing the flash out of Pallet. Loud looking to set up for this Drake. Ocean Drake. They're going for Ocean Soul. Soul Point will be their prize if they get it. In fact, they're going to drop the Herald in the mid lane. Use that advantage for themselves. Try and get this mid lane tier 1. Then rotate down to the Drake. It's just smart, intuitive League of Legends. And you look where Levi is on the Rift. He knows this is happening. So he went try and steal away some of the camps from Loud. And in the end, they're just going to trade it for top lane tier 1. So, as a whole, a tower and a Drake for just a tower. May not even get this tower in the top side. But it looks like it's so much more in favor of Loud right now. Because the bot lane tier 1's being threatened. It won't fall. Because the play here for Nautilus is spotted out. And so Gam denied the bot lane tier 1 falling. However, it's still a very strong spot for Loud to be in right now. First items coming through. More of Malmortius. I like that pickup for the Renekton. Just skipping Gore Drinker for now to get a bit of resist against a champion that's already killed you twice. Very good idea to do. As here comes the quickness, forcing flash out from the Rumble, is going to be tagged up, locked up, Killer Instinct through, the Equalizer drop to burn a few of the minions, but in the end, he is the one who's burning down. A kill goes over to Seos, who ideally isn't the right target for that one, but the top lane tier 1 falls. Oh, Slater, you've walked headfirst into the Croc, and you're forced to burn your cleanse. Oh, this is getting bad very quickly. Route is already so fed, and they're not even focusing the fight right now. Instead, they're killing the tower, denying the TP, the Feather Storm thrown out, but it does absolutely nothing, and in the end, Pallet falls, and Loud get the tower and a TP to boot. Caddy, your TP sucked, my friend. That's the easiest way to word it, and my wording is not wrong. It sucked. It's something I've said about him. I didn't enjoy his Worlds or whatever tournament I saw him at last. He kind of sucked. And this kill, just clean. Rumble knew he had to run. And run quick. And this is just smart from Loud. They know they haven't got enough damage here. Do Gam, so they focus the tower, they kill it off. And then they go for the kill. Then they go for the fight, because there's no tower damage being thrown down onto them. Just smart, intuitive League of Legends. And Loud now going to use this advantage they've got to force the flash out from the Ori, but she's still locked up. The Grand Entrance does its work, and Tinoins gets on the board. Finally, Pot Blossom comes through. That's a double kill over to Nico as the bottom half of the fight. Nautilus being chased down by this ravaging Renekton. Rumble stepping forward. Finally, could drop the equalizer. Isn't gonna do so. Instead, he's gonna be rooted down and taking a chunk of damage for himself. Loud do so much work in this team fight, and they get themselves the Baron out of this one. Insanity. That's the easiest way to describe this game. Just dominant insanity. The fact that this Kaiser build has worked, he's gone Phoenix, he's going Nash's 2/3. What is his build? Anyway, it's just a great route from the Viego, locking up the target to allow time for the Rakan to get in. Seos does work, locks up the targets. Jarvan uses a Cataclysm there, knowing he's a dead man, to just deny any advancement out from the Loud squad, to allow his ADC to escape. And yeah, it's the right play, but come on. Loud should not be catching you out like that. I'm being a bit harsh, don't get me wrong. I thought, basically, Caddy stepping forward in the jungle where he has no vision just made no sense. And Loud punishing very well. You saw also literally the Viego W there. Why are you stepping so close? Just zero sense to me. And Gam kind of losing because of this poor positioning and getting punished by the aggression. Loud very aggressive in this game, you have to feel. And it's kind of responding to the early aggression Gam tried to put down. Levi not really had that much impact on this Jarvan. To be honest, he's made one gank for the Rumble, but the rest of the time, his bot side's been losing on the map. He's not really paid them a visit. And don't get me wrong, Croc really hasn't had to make visits himself to lanes. His lanes have won out on his own. As Seos tanks a lot of damage and the hook. But the flank is already in play. Robo is here. The Renekton looking to route the targets. Get the stun. Find the person he needs to. Killer Instinct is ready. It's available. Cataclysm used, but that Pot Blossom is used before it. An excellent fight from the Loud squad. Getting themselves 4-0. Getting themselves almost guaranteed this game as they managed to pick up the Ocean Soul. Alongside this, back gonna be denied. Slater isn't able to even reset just yet. And this push is gonna continue. It's gonna be Loud marching into the base of the Gigabyte Marines, getting themselves at least 2 inhibitors, maybe even a third, because that top wave, it's already looming in play. They may not even need it, and it may just go for the end here. Probably not. The Gam squad respawning quite soon. They're all up, and now Loud have full control of the map. Baron up in 2 minutes 40. I don't even think we need another Baron for this game to be over. So we look at this fight again. It's just Loud corralling them into one singular lane. We know that the collapse can come through. That killer instinct there gets the Kaiser into a position to get the triple. The damage is insane. Sure, Javin used the Cataclysm. Sure, he keeps a target locked up and not able to get onto the backline. It doesn't matter when you've got a Kaiser already there. When you've got a flashing over the wall Nico rooting down the targets. The Pop Blossom does so much work. And you have to think going into game 2, a lot's got to change if you're the Gigabyte Marines. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. As this victory march is on the table for Loud right now. This top lane tier 1, 3 is where they're heading. You've got Route here. He's the most fed member. He's just going to easily push the wave. Now Gam baiting a bit here. Seos to overstep is going to be spotted out, however, are the Gigabyte Marines. And now Loud gets step forward. No contest on the wave means that this minion wave hits this tier 3. And while it doesn't do that much damage, it is allowing Robo to push in the mid lane. The bot lane wave is going to continue to push forward. The super minions always going to have push. Top side, Loud getting the minions into the tower. The hook goes through. Viego is caught. He is locked up and burnt out as Pallet gets a first kill of the fight. Seos jumping over the wall back to the safety, as that is going to be an equalizer used to keep out the ADC, but it isn't enough. Godlight goes to Kaiser. A double kill. Will we see more? He's on a triple. Pop Blossom use. Nautilus is the target. The quadra kill over to Route, who is destroying this Gigabyte Marine squad. He solo boloed Slater in the early game. Will he solo bolo him on the fountain? The dive is gonna come through. Stopwatch is used. Out go the Loud squad onto the fountain to get the pentakill for Route. Huge play out from Loud throughout this game. Constant response to the aggression early. Allowed them to build an advantage. Allowed them to be the ones that aggressed. And that meant the game was done from there. You had a squad here with a combination if you're the Gigabyte Marines. You had an equalizer and a cataclysm to basically destroy the health bars, get on a target, delete them. But the fact is, it wasn't enough. You got early kills onto your Rumble. It wasn't enough. You weren't able to find an impact. You weren't even able to make it to team fights on an even footing. Loud deleted you off this rift. And you have to look at the ADC matchup as well as probably some very questionable positioning from the mid lane of the Gigabyte Marines, kind of costing them. I thought for a second there, I had a quick glance, I thought that was Faker or Core JJ, but I might be wrong. I'm almost certainly wrong. It was a quick glance, but hey, game 1 done. Insanely good from Loud. I enjoyed it. Now you get a nice quick breakdown of game 2. Was that the short one? Pretty sure it was. Anyway, they are both the longest and shortest game. That's kind of funny. Anyway, let's get into game 2. Longest game of World so far. Looking at the draft, Give me a second. I don't need to say anything other than this pick. This pick. This pick. The fact it's been allowed through. This pick is allowed through. It's got 100% win rate here at Worlds. And it's shown why it has it every single game. I'm pretty sure, actually, I haven't said that, looking at that gold graph, there was a lead for GAM majority of the game until 31 minutes, or 30 minutes. Let's have a look at the 30 minutes. I'm just getting the exact timestamp. Ooh. Bit of a flip here. 23 minutes in. Let's look at that. 23 minutes was where the slide happened. So I don't you can necessarily tell how I feel about draft right now and how Rakan is just broke. And I'm pretty sure I talked about it before we even got into Worlds, and in the qualifying series, Rakan was broke. Why is it being allowed? So, 24 minutes. So the Baron... So, this is where we need to be. Baron is secured by GAM. After they capitalize on this fight. Sonic Wave comes through. The kick's really good. Denies the Rakan. Good blocking there though by Seos to not allow the ADC to get bursted. But the dive coming out from GAM, very strong. Renekton seems very fed. Does a lot of work. So now we need to watch this next fight. Because that's where the game flips on its head to being a loud controlled one. And we know that 2 more Drakes go over to Loud, and 1 more goes over to GAM before the end of the game. That gold difference right there, as it's heavily stacked towards GAM. Granted, it's only a 5k gold lead at the highest, but the thing is, they're still firmly in control, is the easiest way to word it. The control is there for the Gigabyte Marines. They've got push right now with Baron. They're securing the side waves. It's an outplay. They just burst out the ADC, shutting him down. Then Pallet tries to peel, not able to do so. 5v3. Ari forced to run. But Cassante doing Cassante things, chasing down. Forcing a second Spirit Rush out. Catty's in a weird position. Trying to just slow them down so that respawns can come through. It's not going to stop. That's just a good pick overall from the Loud lineup. Like, you look at it. It's Robo stacking up the Qs. He gets Q3 here. Slater stands there for a second. Like, he doesn't back away quick enough. He has flash. Just isn't able to use it. Gets rooted in place. This is just a huge wombo combo. Out from Loud. The Nocturne comes through. You've got the lockup from the Rakan. Champion I keep mentioning. Keeps him in the air. Just executed then off by the Cassante damage. Yeah. Perfect combo out from Loud to shut down the right carry. And while, yeah, that isn't enough to slow the game down. Not to slow the game down. It's not enough to make the game favored to Loud just yet. This Baron they pick up is one thing that gives them an advantage. Because they get to kill the outers. They get a lot of turret gold that's still standing. Like, the mid lane tier 2 is a very easy one to get. This top lane tier 2 is very easy to get with the Baron. There's a TP ward. It's not spotted. Now Caddy is spotted. Paranoia comes through. Renekton's very low. And Nocturne just jumps straight onto the Ahri, forcing a ult. Nocturne to ult to close distance. And burning a very powerful teamfighting ulti in the Spirit Rush. I say that's worth it, all things considered. Nocturne ult probably on a lower cooldown. .4v5. Killer Instinct through. Not really doing anything. Slater doesn't even get to fight. Robo just doing Robo things. Killing the backline. Ahri's already dead. Robo just solo kills both solo laners. What? The ADC in the mid. That's a triple kill as well. This is just a Cassante. Doing Cassante things. He's looking for a quadra of his own. He won't get it. It's sad. But yeah. Loud. Huge fight, honestly. If we watch it again and slow, I think we need to watch this fight and talk about it as it happens. So at this stage, Nocturne ults on cooldown, Ahri ults on cooldown. A little bit further back. Okay. Nocturne and Ahri ult are on cooldown. That's the easy thing. Croc is nowhere near this. So it's 4v4. 4v5 technically. He can get there still. TP comes in on the flank. So they're wanting to fight this Argam. They have some semblance of an advantage. Tanoans is ignored. Yori just gets ignored. I get you want to kill the Xayah, but like, surely you kill her. You kill the Ori who's right next to you. She has no ult. I think this is miscommunication more than anything. Then I just want to also focus in on Slater in what he does in this fight, because it's pretty impactful as to why Loud win it. Just, I want you to count the autos he throws out onto an actual target. So he comes in with a Killer Instinct, heal, one auto, into status, flash, Q, 2, 3, 4. He uses 4 autos, and then he's basically killed off. He's dead. Yeah. His impact in this fight was pretty much 0. And that's because he went way too aggressive with the Killer Instinct. You have to realize the targeting from Gam was horrible here. Like, if you think of it this way, how you could have attacked this fight if you're Gam. Come in, You've got the flank from Renekton. You've got Ori here. You've got Levi here. Renekton here. Stun. Ori. You got Lee Sin coming in on the side. Hopping in. Go for a kick, maybe. But you've also got Killer Instinct that can come through. Ori at this point hasn't used Shockwave, don't get me wrong. And she uses it there. Killer Instinct, realistically, if the Plasma was put onto the Ori, could have actually been beneficial. She could have got here and then killed the mid laner. Croc's not involved. He won't be involved at all. Basically for another 10 seconds. So, honestly, it's just a misplay. The targeting is terrible out from Gam. I mean, if you're Levi, you're probably thinking, ooh, juicy 3-man kick. I guess that's still a good option, actually, to go for a 3-man kick here. To deny them access onto your carry. But the fact is, it's way too late from them to chase down onto Tenoans. They could have done it earlier, got the stun, allowed the Kaiser to get the kill, but in the end, she just dies because of it. And we didn't really count how many autos the Xayah threw down, so we'll do that now. But it's kind of important to notice. 1, 2, auto, ult, 3, 4 autos. Basically, they got the same amount of autos, but one had more impact because it bought time comparative to being chased down and run down by a Cassante. Bit of a difference. There was more targets being pulled by route than there was by Slater. And as such, what essentially happened was Gam threw this fight and the game with it in tow. It's just simply put, a poor fight. Even when you're technically losing, it's not that bad of a gold lead. You just basically cost yourselves a game and the upper bracket of play-ins because of the fact that you poorly team fighted with a very team fight heavy comp. Also, different build with the Kaiser. Very hybridy, I would say, is the wording for it. But I think this game as a whole, from what I've saw, Gam threw it. That's how I feel about it. It was a throw. And I think you can kind of excuse Slater, first ever Worlds game, and obviously a rookie to the stage, for, like, obviously nerves. You're in a different country as well, you have to realize, is a big issue for some players, because you're not accustomed to it at all. I think he would have been better if Gam weren't facing Loud. Loud, obviously, a team that has a lot of support across the globe, and surprisingly have a lot in LoL Park. If you've seen the aftermatch stuff with the conga line, you'll know that they've got a lot of fans. But I don't know. My opinion on Gam is I don't like Caddy as a player. I think he gives up too much in terms of his positioning is quite poor. I think he doesn't have that much impact in an international scene. Like, don't get me wrong, and I don't know this for certain, he could have a huge impact in the regular split. In the VCS or PCS? The VCS, yes. Yeah, it's a bit all over the place. He could be like the superstar carry for his region. But his KDA is really low in the play-ins. If we look at all of this, like, the pool for this, that's all time. This year, the pool, he's got a decent pool for Worlds. Like, these champs are very good right now. I think he's a very low KDA player, I guess. I mean, bear in mind, this region is not classed as a major region. So his stats are, you have to take him with a pinch of salt. But I'm just looking at it. Syndra, LeBlanc. LeBlanc's out of meta. Syndra has seen bans. Quite honestly, could be a good pick. Career history. He's been on GAM for a while. Simple as. 4 splits. Just not the same success on the international stage. That's my opinion on him as a player. I don't think there's much you can change about him. All time. They were at MSI, weren't they? Yeah. He only got 1 win. Dreadful KDA. And his win was on Lissandra. He played him 3 times. Yeah. Yikes. His personal best was -3 against Movistar. It kind of tells you he doesn't perform on international stages if your best is a negative. Just saying. A Movistar we just looked at. Yeah. I think it's going to be a rough tournament for GAM, unfortunately. I had a lot of hope for him coming into this one. But they've got to face R7. Oh god. Well, I wonder where my prediction's going for that one. Anyway. That's going to be it for tonight. I know I said I would only do the one series, but we've done them both. Got them out the way. Very, very interesting, to say the least. Tomorrow you'll also get your predictions for the 4 series. Actually, it's 6 series going into the weekend. I think we can only predict the 4, considering their follow-up matchups. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Hope you've enjoyed tonight. I've had a blast doing this. See you guys tomorrow, where I'm probably not going to be as tired, because I'm very tired right now. See you guys then. Bye.